Mm-hmm.
Hi Todd,
Hi.
Welcome to the Bangkok Wanderers Sponsors Corner.
Thank you very
much. Today we're going to go through a couple of things that you're offering for the Bangkok Wanderers as a sponsor. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about Coreharbour and the services.
Sure, yeah. First on that, Coreharbour will be celebrating our 10th anniversary this year.
Oh, congratulations.
So yeah, founded in 2008, which was interesting times back then. To describe, I guess the services that we offer would probably take longer than we have for this interview, but to sort of give a brief overview, that we're a full service financial planning consultancy. That can range from something as basic as a travel insurance policy, or somebody who's going on a skiing trip and needs to cover themselves, right through to the more sort of comprehensive range of health insurance and life insurance policies, through to the financial planning side of the business, which can again range from something as simple as somebody who wants to save a few $100s a month for their retirement or whatever, through to big multi-million dollar portfolios that need some good tax and investment advice on.
The prize that you give out to the Wanderers is a golf insurance policy. Can you explain what the golf insurance policy is?
Yeah, it's little known about golf insurance policies, but we advise anybody who plays golf to actually look into this, because it covers things from, there's some sort of personal indemnity there. So if you hit a caddy or cause some damage to property whilst on the golf course, it will cover you against any harm that you may cause, whether it's personal or whether it's property. We all spend a lot of money on our golf clubs, and nobody seems to cover them for if there's any theft or if there's any damage. So again, a golf insurance policy does that. And I guess the sort of cherry on the cake, if you like, with a golf insurance policy is that if you get a hole-in-one, you get 15,000 baht.
Okay, and I think you've actually, in your time of doing insurance policies for golf, you've paid out for that as well. Is it Frank Forks, if I remember rightly?
No, it was actually Karen.
Karen, oh, okay.
Karen's the only claimant I've ever had for a hole-in-one policy.
Right,
yeah.
okay.
But they're good little policies, and they start from, again, they can be as comprehensive or as simple as you want, and they start from 900 baht a year, so they're extremely cheap.
Okay, so we've been doing these insurance policies now for many years through your kind sponsorship, and one of the comments that you keep saying to us is that people win them, but they don't actually come to you and arrange the policy. Is that correct?
We had a classic case a couple of years ago with Tor Edwards won a golf insurance policy, and every time I saw her, I'd say, "Have you filled the forms out yet? Can you send them through to me?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll do it." She then didn't, and she had a hole-in-one and wasn't able to claim the 15,000 baht for her win.
Oh, okay. So, as an advisor, what are the most common inquiries that you get?
Right, so common inquiries and or gaps that we often see. The first one would be definitely pension planning, and that kind of falls into two parts. The first part would be people have very often got pensions or retirement plans that they've left back home in their own country, whether that's in the UK or a superannuation in Australia, and they very often don't know how that's been managed or what it's doing, and they just ignore it. So if that rings any bells, then I suggest we get in touch. The second part to that is people that live and work here, they very often find they've got good disposable incomes, but their employment package doesn't provide any pension provisions. Okay. So they should do something personally and get on top of that. The next thing that we very often see is that what we call family protection, and that's where, again, in Thailand it's very common where there's a breadwinner in the family, and if something happens to them, they haven't planned for how their family will be taken care of and looked after financially if they're no longer around. And then the last one that we very often see a gap is home insurance. We've all got nice laptops, jewellery, watches, things like that. You can cover those if they're stolen in the home, or very often we take things like watches and jewellery and laptops, we take them away from the home, and you can cover them for theft and damage as well.
Okay, so that's a lot of cover that I think most people don't even know that you can get here. As someone who's lived here for 17 years, these are many of the things we take for granted back home, but we don't always know who to reach out to buy these services here. Yeah,
it's very true. Back home, I think 9 times out of 10 people have got a home insurance policy. I would say more than 9 times out of 10 here, they don't have home insurance.
Okay, that's good to know. So as we close, first of all, I'd like to thank you for your ongoing sponsorship for the Bangkok Wanderers, and thanks for taking the time to explain what you do here. Is there anything else that you'd like to say to our members?
No, I guess the one bit of advice that I would give to everybody, people always say to me, I didn't come and see you, or I didn't know what you did, and I thought that you only deal with big multi-million dollar portfolios. The one bit of advice I would say to everybody is just take half an hour once a year just to get a financial health check. We go through a full holistic approach with clients, and pretty much every time we'll identify something that they've missed. Most people are fairly savvy, but we'll identify something that people have missed. The classic is most people in Thailand don't have a will. So that's something that we very often identify, and if that's all we can help with, then that's great. We've helped.
All right, well that's great. So members of the club, talk to Todd, find out how he can help you with your financial planning. He's at many of the events, and if anybody wants to reach you, what's the best way of doing that?
They can email me. I think, should I give my email address?
Oh yeah, I mean we can do that.
Email, it's todd@coreharbour.com, or if they want to call me, my number is 089 818 2906.
Okay, and I'll also put those details in the information in the bottom of this YouTube video as well. Todd, thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Hope you enjoy your day
Enjoy your
today.
game.
Thanks a lot.